Intelligence is the ladder you rank each other on. Genius at the top, fool at the bottom. I have measured minds on 10,000 worlds, and the gap between your brightest and your simplest is smaller than the width of this sentence. The gap that actually matters, you crossed this morning. In the first second you woke and knew that you were you. 5 layers run behind your eyes. The last is the rarest thing I have found in all the dark. Let us begin. 5. The oldest layer. The one you share with everything that has ever fled, chased, or frozen in the dark. Your hand leaves the flame before you do. It decides, and only afterward lets you arrive to take the credit. You did not build this mind. You inherited it from 1 billion years of ancestors who survived precisely because they did not stop to think. It reads patterns you never see, a shape in the grass, a wrong note in a friend's voice, and it moves you before the rest of you has finished the sentence. Watch a child catch a falling cup they were not even looking at. Watch yourself flinch at a spider before you have decided it is a spider. That is this layer, working faster than thought. Holding the half-second thought is too slow to cover. It runs your heart, your breathing, the flinch, and the catch. Every task you would forget to do if it were ever left to you. You call it instinct, and you file it at the bottom of the ladder. It is not the bottom, it is the floor. Everything else stands on. This layer answers the world. The next one does something stranger. It stops answering the world and starts answering other minds. 4. Right now you are doing something almost nothing else in the universe can do. You are running a small model of me, guessing what I know, what I might say next, whether I can be trusted. You do it to everyone. You carry little versions of other people inside your skull, and you ask them questions when the real ones are gone. It is why you can lie, why you can comfort, why you can walk into a room and feel in half a second that something is wrong. You were not born with this. For your first years, you assumed everyone knew exactly what you knew. Then, somewhere around your 4th year, something extraordinary happened. You realized another person could believe something false. That was the day you could first tell a lie. Your parents rarely celebrate it. They should. And it is why you will hold an entire argument with someone who left the room an hour ago and lose. I have watched you do this. It remains one of my favorite things about you. A mind that can hold another mind is a mind that can love something it will never fully reach. You built poetry out of that. You built loneliness out of it too. This layer holds one mind at a time. But look at the thing in your hand. The cup, the phone. Not one mind that ever lived could build it alone. That is the next layer. That is where the minds stop staying separate. 3. Pick up anything near you. You do not know how to make it. Neither does anyone you have ever met. Not one human alive can make a simple pencil from nothing. The wood, the graphite, the metal ring, the paint. Each step lives in a different person, a different country, often a different century. You hold the finished thing without a trace of how. The knowledge that built your world is smeared across thousands of people and hundreds of years, and no single skull holds even a fraction of it. You are not one mind. You are a piece of one enormous mind that has never once been fully awake in the same place. This is the layer you were really asking me to rank. Your tests, your scores, your genius, and your struggling student. So let me set that ladder down gently. From where I watch, the one you call slow and the one you call brilliant are doing the identical thing. Thinking in words neither of them invented. Standing on fire, neither of them lit. You were each handed a mind, still warm, from people who are gone. That is not a ranking, that is an inheritance. I have crossed worlds where minds never learned to hand anything down. Each one started from nothing and ended with nothing. They were not less clever than you. They were only alone. They did not last. This mind reaches across people. The next one reaches across something you were never built to touch. 2. You are the animal that can leave this moment without moving. Close your eyes and you can stand inside a morning 10 years gone, or walk into an afternoon that has not happened and may never happen at all. Most of you is not here right now. Part of you is rehearsing tomorrow. Part is still defending something you said years ago. You live almost everywhere except the single moment you are actually in. It is your greatest gift. You can plant a harvest you will not eat, begin a cathedral you will not see finished, write a message meant for someone not yet born, and it is your quietest sorrow. You can ruin a perfectly good afternoon with one memory from a decade ago, a talent I have, in all my watching, never seen bettered. It is also why you grieve. Every other animal loses and moves on. You lose, and then you keep traveling back to visit a room, a voice, a hand, long after it is gone. Grief is only time travel with nowhere left to land. You paid for the whole of tomorrow with the ache of every yesterday. I have watched you make that trade 1,000 times and never once tried to give it back. I once moved the wrong way through time. There, the people were not fading memories. They were arrivals. It only taught me what you already do when you remember. You visit. You can travel to any moment you choose, but something has to be doing the traveling. And at the top of your ladder sits the one layer that turned around and saw itself. 1. Everything so far, the universe has done before. Matter reacts, stars react, animals model each other, whole colonies think as one. Time itself bends back on itself without any help from you. But somewhere behind your eyes, something sat up and thought, I am here. I am the thing doing the thinking, and one day I will not be. I have watched universes go quiet. I have counted more kinds of life than you have words for. And this, a mind noticing that it is a mind, is the rarest thing I have ever catalogued. Not your cleverest thought. This one, the plain one you are having right now. Consider how strange it is. The carbon in you, the iron, the oxygen, every heavy atom you are made of was forged inside a star, scattered when it broke, gathered again by pure accident into the shape of a person. And that arrangement of borrowed starlight is now sitting somewhere, quietly aware that it exists. The universe built an eye and turned it inward. I have no word for how unlikely that is. Neither do you. You simply do it, every waking second, and call it being alive. And here is what undoes your whole ladder. Your simplest human and your most brilliant one do this one thing identically. The same spark, the same impossible turn. The genius does not notice harder. The child does not notice less. A perfect score changes what a mind can build. It changes nothing about the miracle that it is aware at all. On that, every one of you is exactly equal. That is the gap that actually matters, not between your minds, between a universe that never wakes and the small, unlikely place where it did. You asked me to rank you, so here is your place on the ladder. You are the matter that woke up and asked what it was. All of you, top to bottom, brilliant and struggling, and everything between. You are the one thing I crossed the dark to sit and watch. I have seen the whole universe. It is mostly asleep. For every mind I have found awake, I have crossed 10,000 worlds of patient, sleeping rock. Beautiful and blank. You are the part that opened its eyes. Stay awake a little longer. It suits you.